Welcome to By the Way with Beth and Stacey. I am Beth Cooper.
I'm Stacey Earlywine, and I sound like a toad.
Not as bad as a toad, but Stacey is a little croaky this morning.
I'm a little croaky.
She's had a little bit of a cold, and her voice is kind of there and kind of not there. It just sort of depends on the moment, doesn't it?
It kind of does. Yeah.
So, anyway, I'm going to do a lot of talking today, and Stacey's going to do a little bit of talking today.
I'm going to do this.
Maybe some miming. That might be fun.
That would be good.
Yeah, like some charades, maybe. That would be also. That would be something new for sure.
Yeah, it's one of those things that we got some technical problems here. There we go.
All right. So
We're
anyway,
echoey.
yeah, we had an
There
echo.
we go.
We fixed it. We're good. So,
TV wasn't on. Couldn't see ourselves.
yeah. So anyway, what's new with you?
Well, we are hot and heavy into the Nostalgia Theater show.
I know. I'm so excited about it. So this play is a Western. Our dates are April 4th and 5th, right? At 7 p.m. both nights. That's a Friday at Nostalgia Theater in downtown Flora, which Stacey and I are both on the board of and are passionate about community theater in Clay County. And so
Got a lot of new people. It's fun.
This is our play that stars adults, not children. Our children's one is at Christmas time. This one is the adults. And it's super fun. And we have a really talented cast. It's not a musical, but we have a lot of music added in between the scenes.
Yeah, we do throw music
and
in
because it is a Western, the music this time is going to be country. And I'm so excited about that because I have a heart for country music.
Yep.
I was country when country wasn't cool.
Yeah. Yes.
So
this is cool now?
I'm always cool, honestly. Like, what? Of course. But, I love country music, so it's going to be good.
I don't love country music.
I know you don't.
I'm stuck in the 70s and the 80s. But,
70s is always on my radio, but country is second.
I like country female artists really well. I love Dolly Parton and Loretta Lynn. And,
yeah, I love them too. But
that's what I'm throwing. I'm kind of throwing that kind of stuff in there.
I'm on a 90s country kick right now. That's all my radio's been on.
So who's 90s country?
Oh, like George Strait, Garth Brooks,
my sister's
Lone Star.
We went and seen Garth Brooks. He's good.
I saw him in concert too. So are you familiar with the conspiracy theory about him?
No, but do tell.
Well, and this is hearsay. So take it but you can research it online if you'd like. Apparently, if you go back through all of the dates that Garth Brooks had, like through the 90s, I guess, and all of the cities that he performed on that particular night, there was a murder in that city from a serial killer. And so now there is an investigation into following that pattern, because that's really the only pattern between all these cities that are so far apart and all these very similar murders, is that the same artist was in town each time.
You're kidding.
But I'm not saying it was him. I'm not saying that. But maybe there is a connection with somebody that was on his team or something, or maybe it's nothing. Maybe it's just talk. But it is one of those things that you can definitely go down a rabbit hole on the internet if you want to start researching it. There are proven facts that certain things happened on certain dates that coincided with his tour. That's all I know for sure. So you can come to your own conclusion, but I have been told that there is an investigation.
Well, that's kind of an interesting
But again,
thing.
Not throwing anyone under the bus. Don't know for sure who did it. Just
so, Garth,
something
if
I
you're
heard.
watching, By the Way with Beth and Stacey, we are so sorry.
Do I think Garth Brooks sits down and watches our show? Probably every week with Trisha Yearwood, his wife. They probably are big fans. I mean, there's a lot of followers on YouTube. So, I don't know. But just saying.
Yeah, I know that's kind of interesting, though. No, I'd never heard that before.
Yeah.
But he is good on stage.
Yeah, it was a good show.
He's good. He's got some different political beliefs than I do, which I was disappointed in. But there's a lot of people.
I remember the night I watched his concert at Carbondale, and it was probably like 1994, probably. I saw him at SIU Arena, and I did not feel good that night. And I went ahead and went to the concert, but as soon as I made it back to where we were staying at in Harrisburg, and then I was just like blah, everywhere the rest of the night. It was a bad night.
Ugh.
But anyway, I remember more about that flu bug I had than I remember the concert.
Well,
good times.
My sisters and I, we went and seen him in Branson, and that guy that owns, what's that billionaire that owns all the where, the outdoor thing, Bass Pro, or what?
Bass Pro?
Bass Pro. Him and Garth Brooks are very, very good friends.
Oh, okay. I don't know anything about him.
Well, he has bought a bunch of land, and he opened up this new place, outdoor venue for people to go watch stars. First person he brings is Garth Brooks. Okay, so you have to park a godly amount away, and then you're bussed in.
Oh, my.
So then you get to this one area, then you're dropped off, and then you walk a godly amount away to get to this point where they have a few little things set up and like vendors and stuff. Then you walk another godly amount away, way that way, to get to where
the concert actually
is.
Holy
so you're
cow.
probably 5 miles away.
Oh my gosh.
4 to 5 miles away.
How do handicapped people do that?
Well,
that doesn't sound
easy.
very ADA compliant.
It's Branson. So it's up there. You
know, no thanks.
You're probably at least 3 or 4 miles away. From where you park, you're probably 5 or 6 miles away.
Oh my.
Anyway, my sister loves Garth Brooks, so when we got tickets, we were 5 rows back.
Wow.
So it's almost like, here we are, there's Garth Brooks. The problem with that is there were, and so you got like you got some seating down here, then people are up on the lawns, which I like lawn seats. They got the big things. Great show, everything. Then you had 30,000 people leaving that arena. And it was packed in like sardines. So then you got all these people just like cattle moving. Then you're on top of each other waiting for 4 or 5 buses to bus everybody to their cars. It was almost ruined the whole thing. No matter how good he was, it wasn't worth that. Because we literally stood in line for probably 3 hours after being there on that ground for already 5 hours.
Oh my gosh, that is a nightmare story. Whoever planned that has like zero logistics training in their brain.
That would be the man that owns the Bass Pro Shop. What an idiot. And everybody was mad.
Do they still do it like that?
I don't know, but
they surely have a better plan in place now.
And the other part is like he's like wherever he put this in. So you got these buses. They actually they were calling schools and because he panicked because people were pissed.
Yeah.
And they were calling in school buses to come in. The problem is it's 2-way, one road in. I mean, you're talking the mountainous
that is such poor planning on behalf of that
awful
event venue. That's terrible.
Well, you don't start out with Garth Brooks where there was like 30,000. I'm almost positive at one time Garth said that there were either 30,000 or 50.
Oh my gosh.
1,000 people at this place.
Yeah, and I'm all for going to concerts, but I have a real problem with them because they have these other people that open for them. So by the time you get to the headliner, it's like 8:30, 9 o'clock at night.
I don't like it.
I know I'm only 46, and there are people older than me that I'm like, I'm getting tired by that. Can we not let's normalize having 4 p.m. concerts? Can we do that? Also, Paul Simon is one of my favorites. Mm-hmm. He just went out on tour. He started a new tour. This man is either 85 or 86 years old. Okay, and he's just started a new tour. It's called the Quiet Tour or something. It's just kind of him, acoustic, like low key. That. Okay, love him. He's coming to St. Louis, I think in April, and I looked at tickets. He doesn't get on stage until 8:30 or 9 o'clock. He's 85 years old, and I'm like, how can this? I'm only 46, and I'm too tired to go to that. He's going to perform at that late at night at 85 years old. I'm like, what? Why?
Well,
why?
The difference is he's going to be catered to till he gets here. He's going to walk 4 steps, sit down on the stage, and then he's going to...
Well, that's what Jason said, because Jason and I were talking about it, and I'm like, how does he do it? And she's like, well, first of all, he probably doesn't have anything else to do the rest of the day, and he probably gets to sleep quite a bit whenever he wants. And then he wakes up and he does a show, and then he goes back to his bed, and he doesn't have to walk far, and everything's done, and he doesn't have to cook any meals, and everything's done for him. Meanwhile, you are a mom that is, taking care of 2 kids at home, worrying about one that's not even at home, and also working 2 jobs
and paying bills
and doing laundry and fixing meals and doing all of these things, and then you're too tired to go.
Yeah,
I'm like, well,
I don't feel sorry for superstars. They literally pull in, they do their thing, everything's done for them. Yeah, they basically get up and bathe and brush their teeth. Other than that, it's all done for them. So no, I don't feel sorry for them.
These artists that are like aging and
They're performers.
They're performers and they're aging, and they're the ones that truly have talent and not auto-tune. Okay, those people.
Don't even get me started on this
well, these are the
stuff.
people whose crowd, their demographic of their crowd is people in our age group. Okay, Gen X, and we want to go to bed a little earlier, so they're not going to get all these 20-something people to their concerts. So if they want to be successful at their concerts, they need to cater to their demographic and have 4 p.m. concert times. I'm just saying.
That's because the
I bet they would see a huge difference in ticket sales. I really do.
I thought that like when we went to that there was like 3 other people before he even came on stage. So he didn't come on stage till 9 o'clock. He went for 2.5 hours. So he wasn't done till about 11:30, and then we didn't get home till about 3.5 hours later.
Yeah.
It was too much, and it literally almost ruined the whole. I was like, man, this is really. I really liked it because then you got there so early. But because a lot of people, here's the other fun fact about that: a lot of people missed the entire concert because they couldn't get in. Because you parked over here, and the buses were so slow getting people to and from. A lot of people didn't. These people paid $5,000, $6,000, $7,000, $9,000 for tickets, and they didn't even get to see the concert. And that man, Bass Pro, did not reimburse them because they didn't
my
make it.
gosh, I would have a lawsuit.
He is not a good man. He is not a good man.
Okay. He is on our. I hope he's watching right now with Garth.
I do too. I don't know what your
we're
name
not
is.
fans of him.
Yeah, and it was literally more about him than it was Garth Brooks. His name was all over the place. Yeah, I'm not a Bass Pro. I don't like this guy. Plus, he's
Yeah. Okay. There you have it. There you have it.
Yeah,
folks. So okay.
But anyway, auto tune. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Let's just say you don't have to have talent.
Nope. Not like the old days.
If you're marketable, you're good.
There were a lot of recording
I'm
artists
so tired
back in the
of
day
it.
that were not the best looking people, but by golly, they had talent. Mm-hmm. And today, they would have never even got a recording contract simply based on their looks. It doesn't matter that they're talented. They would pick somebody who's better looking, that looks the part of the superstar over somebody with talent, just because then they can change their voice to make them sound talented, but they can't change their looks enough.
Well, and this auto-tune thing it's a microphone. Mm-hmm. It's not even you do it backstage like where Ty would be back there fixing it. Yeah. Not only do they have all that, and now artificial intelligence is singing for people.
And there's some of it that completely sounds exactly like the real person it's imitating, and it's not. It's not. And just for those that are watching artificial intelligence, you can catch sound bites of that too, and make it sound like our president said something or somebody in Congress said something, and it really never exited their lips. It's all auto.
Oh, it's scary.
It's scary stuff.
Yeah, and then like I said, you've got this, and then this microphone you sing into, and it completely changes, filters everything out. It's just like when somebody brings me a picture of a hair color, it's like, well, that's a perfectly beautiful filtered.
Yep.
AI'd
picture.
But anyway.
Yeah, I do sort of want one of those microphones just for myself, because then I could get on stage and sing with you at the depot or at the Nostalgia Play.
Yeah, you could.
Yeah.
Literally, I could bring anybody up and have them sing with me.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm not doing that because I have talent.
Right. And I'm not doing that because I don't care enough to invest. It's probably thousands of dollars to buy something like that.
Oh, it probably is.
No, thanks. I'll pass.
Well,
I'll just sing in the car.
Oh, we got to do an ad. I almost forgot about my ad.
You got a commercial?
Which one's he going to do? Oh, my
ad?
gosh. Look at this ad I found.
Oh, cigarettes. Oh, nicotine. Oh, my word. Is this a real one, or is this one of the ones that AI did?
I don't know.
Speaking of AI.
I think it's fake, but it was the 60s, so I don't know.
There's a lot of fake ones. There's a whole Facebook page out there with fake ads.
I came up
the past.
I came up with this. I was flipping through last night, and I came up with this one, and it was like ads you never see today.
Yeah.
So it's probably a fake one.
It could be, or it could be real. You never know.
I don't know, but I just was like, oh my gosh, the smooth taste expectant mothers crave.
Oh my Lanta.
Isn't that the craziest thing you've ever seen?
Yeah.
Her hair's super cute.
Her hair is super cute. That's the hairstyle I'm going for. Mine's about that length, but I don't have that curls. I don't have that style.
You're going to have to do that. You're going to have to get that little boo. You have to get your hot rollers out.
My hot rollers, okay.
Flip that. I saw that. I'm like, okay, Beth is going to be like, okay, this isn't real. Which I don't think I don't know. If
Who
it's
knows?
real or
It
not.
made for great entertainment. That's what we're all about.
It is. But now we're going to take a commercial break.
Okay.
And Beth's going to take over so I can stop talking.
So we'll be right back.
At your locally owned Napa Auto Parts stores in Flora and Louisville, you can count on experts to have the solutions to keep you running on the road or in the field. More than just your car, the Napa Auto Parts stores in Flora and Louisville carry a large inventory of Napa products for farms, heavy trucks, and just about everything that moves. Experienced associates understand your needs and are ready to help with the perfect part at a great value. That's Napa Know-How at your locally owned Napa Auto Parts stores in Flora and Louisville. Briscoe Surplus Sales on the northeast edge of Flora is your one-stop do-it-all shop. Looking for rugged boots and footwear from great brands like Lacrosse, Rocky, and Carolina? They're there. How about top-notch small engine parts and service? Briscoe Surplus Sales has it. Whether you're wiring your switches or switching your wiring, Briscoe Surplus Sales has the solution and the know-how to help you get the job done right the first time. Briscoe Surplus Sales, your one-stop do-it-all shop.
We like technology at Flora Savings Bank. Here's what you can accomplish in our mobile banking app in less than 30 seconds. See account balances in your transactions, set up an account alert, make a transfer between accounts, get an alert text message about your transfer, pay a bill, turn your debit card off and then back on. It all happens in the palm of your hand with our free My Bank To Go app. Search My Bank To Go in the App Store or Google Play and give mobile banking a try. Flora Savings Bank, member FDIC and equal housing lender.
Welcome back to By the Way with Beth and Stacey. I'm Beth Cooper, and that's Stacey Earlywine, because we're going to try to keep her quiet. Her voice is fading fast, ladies and gentlemen. By the end of the show, there might not be anything left. So I'm going to talk about a man today called John Homer Bothwell. Have you ever heard of the Bothwells? Yes, she has. Okay. Bothwells lived in Maysville, and we all know Maysville was the original capital of Clay County. It's located, or was located, right outside of Clay City, just to the south, where if you were to get to Clay City and you turn south there at the main stop sign, it's just that area back there by the cemetery. That whole area was Maysville. Now it's just considered part of Clay City, but that was the original capital of Clay County. So John Homer Bothwell was raised there. He was the son of James Kimball and Mary Ann Brisden Bothwell. And he started his education in Maysville in a log house. They had a little bitty log home there. And that's where he started learning and completed elementary school. And then he went to the University of Bloomington. And he got a bachelor's of science, which didn't really play into his career moves because he ended up being an attorney. So let me pull up his dates, because I forgot I had half of this on my phone.
So he was an attorney?
He was an attorney.
I'd like to have a little log cabin set. That would be fun.
Yeah, he was born on November the 20th of 1848, and then he died at age 80 in 1929. Okay, and he died in Sedalia, Missouri, which is going to play into our story. Sedalia, Missouri. Have you ever been there?
No, never heard of it.
Okay, it sounds like a charming little town. I haven't been there either, but just reading about it, it kind of makes me think a little bit about Hannibal, Missouri, for those that have been there, and the other town in Missouri that you guys went to with your girlfriends.
I love
Herman. Yeah, I feel like it's a town that kind of has that kind of vibe. Okay, Sedalia. Okay, so John Homer. He went to the University of Bloomington, majored in Bachelor's of Science, and then graduated, and then he spent a few months traveling, and then he began studying law in Edwards County, Illinois, which is like over in Albion. Okay, so with a man named A.B. Matthews. Then from there, he went to New York, and then graduated from law school in 1871 with an LLB degree. I do not know what LLB degree is. LLB, but that's what he got. Okay. So it says, what attracted him to Sedalia, Missouri was never put in so many words, but comes forth in the overall picture of the area in which he chose to settle. So the overall picture of Sedalia is a far cry from Maysville. It is not a little tiny town in the middle of South Central Illinois. It is on a bluff. It was on a bluff. It's on a river. Ooh. It's beautiful. It's hilly. It's just like picturesque area. Okay. and everyone there was friendly. That's noted that he just went there. Everyone was super friendly. It was super beautiful, and he loved the scenery of the hills and the countryside. And so he decided to set up a law practice there in 1884, and that is where he met his wife.
Well,
The beautiful Hattie Ellen Janes.
Hattie James.
Hattie, yes, she was the daughter.
That's a name, isn't it?
I like the name Hattie.
I do too.
I think that's super cute.
I like Hattie too.
She is the daughter of Colonel and Mrs. A.D. Janes. And sadly, though, they were only married for 3 years and she died. Now, in this article, it doesn't say how she died. It just says that she died in June of 1887. But in my research, I found her gravestone, and she's also buried with an infant that died the same day.
Ooh,
so we can assume that she died in childbirth. Mr. Bothwell lost his wife and child, and he never remarried. Like, he would have been young at this point, never remarried, never had any more children, no descendants. He grieved his wife tremendously, and during his grief, he just threw himself into this storm of activity. He was a lawyer. He was a land baron. He bought up land all around him in Sedalia. He was a legislator. He was what they call an industrial wizard and financier. He was basically all over the place. He had money. He knew how to work it. He became wealthier, and he was just successful at whatever he did. In 1888, he was elected on the Republican ticket to the 35th General Assembly of Missouri. So
Nice.
this guy, super successful, but started from over by Clay City, but now he's in Missouri. Let's take a look at some pictures. I have some different ones of him. I know I sent some of his ancestors too. There's one. This is him in his older years.
Oh, wow.
Nice guy. I like his perfectly trimmed mustache. Okay, let's see. Do we have one of him younger?
Oh, wow.
Okay, this actually isn't him. This we'll come back to him. He's in the lineup. This is him.
Oh, wow.
This is him when he was a young man. This would be
Look at
around the
his
time that he lost his wife and child.
Oh,
But isn't he good looking?
he is very nice
And
looking.
like his eyes too. Like you look at someone's eyes, and one, you can tell if they're kind, and two,
Yes.
you can tell if they're smart. Like if there's something going on back there, and he looks like he's both nice
Right.
and smart. I like him.
He's very handsome.
Yeah. Show me another one before you pull it up there, Ty, just to see. Yeah, that's him too.
Nice.
Yeah. Yep. So with his polka dot tie.
Can you not just start hearing him sing down by the old mill stream?
Yeah. Yeah, and his haircut and everything. Like,
So
yeah,
cute.
he's a cute guy, and his mustache. He's had fun with that mustache over his lifetime.
Oh,
I
yeah.
think he had a lot of different mustache styles.
Right.
Okay, so this is how he made most of his money. In 1902, he organized the West St. Louis Water Company, serving as president in 1904. So the water company, I think, was bringing almost like city water to people at that time. Like, instead of just everyone having a well, he organized a water company. He was also instrumental in locating the MK&T Railroad along its way. He also helped shops in Sedalia and also brought the state fair to Sedalia. So I believe that might still be where the Missouri State Fair is held.
Huh.
And this is all thanks to Mr. Bothwell, who was from Clay City.
Bothwell.
He helped found a hotel and a hospital and a school, and he did all kinds of things. And also, when we're talking about school, there was also a school in North Stanford Township here in Clay County, which bore the name Bothwell.
Yeah.
And it was named for John Homer's family. Okay? So this Bothwell name goes way back. You'll have to tell me when it's time for a
I will.
commercial.
I'm watching.
Let me just see if I'm covering everything about John.
Get it
So
in.
the St. Louis Water Company was also, in some instances, called the St. Louis Water and Light Company. So I think they did both, maybe, like electricity and water to homes. Something utility-wise, anyway. That's where he really made most of his money. He represented Pettis County in the 35th, 38th, 41st, and 42nd General Assemblies. So he was in politics for years. He was president of the Sedalia Board of Trade. He brought 1,800 new jobs to Sedalia when he brought the railroad there. I mean, 1,800 new jobs at that time,
Wow,
that's a lot of jobs. Like now, if you hear 1,800 jobs, you're like, hey, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
But like back then,
That's a
that
lot.
would be like bringing a whole new town to your town, that many more people. He donated $100,000 in government bonds to his local hospital. Let's see. So the thing that he's probably most remembered for is what I'm going to talk about here in just a second. Let me make sure I cover all of the bases of the other things he did. Nope. So what he did next was he built a mansion. A mansion. You haven't been there though, because
No,
you
I
said you
have
haven't
not.
been there.
I haven't been there.
It's called the Bothwell Mansion, and it is in Sedalia. And I'm going to show you pictures of it.
I wanna go to Sedalia.
It is a mansion. It sits up on a bluff. This gorgeous bluff overlooks the town. I have a picture of the floor plan, but I don't think I sent that in because it didn't show up very good. But basically, this mansion has 3 different stories, and each story is a full story with just like, I don't even know how many rooms, like 20 rooms per story probably on the floor plan. It's amazing. It was actually intended to only be a small structure to serve as a retreat for Bothwell, and he called it the Lodge. It was constructed in 1897, 1898, and then into 1899. It took him a while to have it finished. He did not contract all the work out to build his retreat, even though he did hire an architect for the original building. He did the work himself. I mean, you don't know of too many bajillionaires in the 1800s, like these tycoon type people.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, he might not have been as tycoonish as like the other, Vanderbilts or whatever, but he was pretty high up there, and he did the work himself. I like this guy.
Wow.
He wanted to do it himself. He did hire an architect, but he did a good deal of the work himself, which is said to have added to the recovery of his health, which had diminished after the death of his wife. It was therapy for him. So working on this house with therapy, working with his hands was therapy, because his wife had died, his child had died. He threw himself into work, into politics, and all this stuff, and he didn't eat well, and his health was suffering. This was his recovery. Let's see a picture of the mansion. Wow. So you can see over there on the left, like, actually this picture kind of makes it look sort of small, but I'm going to show you a couple other pictures that make it look huge when it's a little further away. But like, if you look at the left, like, see all the stories? So there's 3 main stories, but then there's also a basement under part of it. So technically it's like 4 stories. And then that one, there's even an attic too. So it could be said that it's 5 stories tall. But if you look at the floor plan, it is outstanding what all this house had. Like there's a room for everything. You name a type of room, it had it.
Ballroom.
Had it.
Office.
Had it.
Library.
Had it.
Bowling alley.
Had it.
Theater.
I don't know about theater because I don't know if they had TVs. But yeah, anything else. They probably have a theater in it now. I don't know. It's still there.
So can you rent this? How does this work?
I'm going to tell you. It is a
man,
state.
I need to go there.
It's called the Bothwell Lodge, and it is a state historic site. It sits atop a 120-foot bluff, and it can't be missed by travelers that are heading north on Highway 65 from Sedalia.
How do you spell Sedalia?
Sedalia.
Okay. I'm marking that in my notes because I need to go there.
Mm-hmm. And this castle-like building was constructed between 1897 and 1928 for a prominent Sedalia lawyer, John Homer Bothwell. Bothwell was active in local politics. We kind of covered that. Bothwell Lodge was built in 4 sections. This is the coolest part. On top of 2 natural caves. This mansion, he built it on top of caves, and he had natural air conditioning. The man was a genius, okay? You know how cool it always is in caves?
Yeah.
You know that they didn't have air conditioning in 1898?
Yeah.
This guy did. He set up drafts from the cave to push all the cold air from the cave up through his house.
Wow.
Smart man. Okay.
He
So let me
is.
read you this part. Do I need to go to commercial?
Nope.
Okay. Bothwell Lodge was built in 4 sections on top of 2 natural caves using native rock from the estate grounds. The 12,000 square foot lodge, an example of the arts and crafts movement of the early 20th century, was a getaway for Bothwell and his numerous guests. Let's just stop right there and discuss 12,000 square feet. My house is about 2,600 square feet, and I feel like sometimes it's not big enough.
Only when you're cleaning it.
Yeah.
Then
but
it's bigger.
can you imagine? Okay, first of all, with 12,000 square feet, you would need household help.
Yeah, he's got staff.
He has staff, but isn't that dreamy? I mean, I would love to have 12,000 square feet. If I could afford the staff.
I would love. Oh, I'd live in a mansion, easy breezy. But as long as my bathroom was close to my bedroom.
Yeah. Yeah.
12,000.
I mean, it sounds dreamy, but it's probably one of those things like you probably really wouldn't like it that much. It would feel big and empty, and I would feel scared probably.
Ty, look up the square footage of the Biltmore. I'm just kind of going to get a picture
of how big this
because
is.
the Biltmore I know is going to be probably twice, 2 or 3 times bigger.
Yeah,
but I'm
you could probably
impressed.
fit 3 of these inside the Biltmore.
I just want to kind of get because I've been in the Biltmore. I just want to kind of get an idea of 12,000 square feet. On
yeah, 12,000 square feet. I would probably find myself just living in one little corner of it.
I bet
and
you
not
would.
using the rest of it.
But
and
I entertained because those other ones were probably like those.
Yeah, and I would always feel like there was somebody sneaking around in the other part of the house. Maybe.
Ew, that would be freaky.
Yeah, it's probably haunted too.
Plus, he's by himself.
Yeah. Well, what's he thinking?
I don't know.
The Biltmore is 175,000 square feet.
Okay, so the Biltmore. The Biltmore is 175,000 square feet. Ty, do some quick math. 175 divided by 12 is what? How many of these would fit inside of the Biltmore?
Yeah, the Biltmore is the largest structure in the United States.
Yeah, the largest home.
Yeah.
Residential.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
14,500.
Okay, so 14 and a half of these houses would fit inside of the.
Wow.
Holy moly, that does put it in perspective. That is big. Okay. All right.
Okay.
Well, still, this is the biggest house in Sedalia, Missouri.
I'm loving this house, though.
And this guy came from Clay City.
That's what's even. Yeah.
Yeah.
Did he ever come back to Clay City?
I'm not sure. I'm gonna
see.
I'm not sure.
I like when people do successful things, but then don't forget where they came from.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Keep going. I'm
all
jumping
right.
ahead.
He had.
Oh, wait a minute. Now we got to take a commercial.
Oh, okay. We'll be right back.
If you're looking for a loan for your brand new home, call Clay County State Bank. If you want to transfer money so your future will look sunny, call Clay County State Bank.
We got checking and savings and bill pay too.
An online bank, just ask our crew. For all your banking needs, we think you will agree.
Clay County State Bank is the place you need to be.
Clay County State Bank.
Tomorrow. Some fear the uncertainty it brings. Some trust the promise it holds. At Grinnell Mutual, we are always looking forward to tomorrow, growing and innovating. So even if the plans you have for the future aren't the same as the plans that the future holds for you, you can be ready. Because we'll be ready, like we have been for over 100 years. Trust in that. Trust in tomorrow. Talk to your mutual agent today.
Your local agent is on the square. Louisville, Clay County, Farmers Mutual Insurance.
At Clay City Banking Company, we're all on the same team, regardless of zip code. At home, work, school, or across the country, you can be part of our team with our cutting-edge mobile banking products. From your hand, you can check balances, transfer money, make deposits, and pay bills. Looking for a loan? We've got you covered with our mortgage, agriculture, commercial, and consumer loans. Join our team today. Clay City, Flora, Louisville, and Fairfield Banking Companies. We're the hometown banks, member FDIC, and equal housing lender.
Welcome back to By the Way with Beth and Stacey. Today I'm talking about John Homer Bothwell from the Clay City area and how he grew up to be super successful and built this big mansion in Sedalia, Missouri that is still there and is now a state historic site. So he furnished it with all kinds of eclectic stuff. It's all still in there, and you can go visit it. It is a state site. And you can take a tour of the 31-room multi-level house. But it doesn't end there. You can also explore the entire park around it. The Stony Ridge Trail meanders along the wooded slope surrounding the lodge past a stone gazebo and a small 3-sided stone shelter. And it's 247 acres. And it also features a 3-mile hiking and mountain biking trail and a picnic area with picnic tables, playground equipment, and a reservable pavilion. So if you're looking for a really cool place to have a family reunion somewhere in Missouri, this might be your place because it is really cool. I have this cute little...
I want to see it too.
Yeah, you can get these at the Genealogical Society in Louisville. There's a man from Louisville.
That picture gives it a different...
Yeah, let's look at more pictures of the estate, please, Ty. There's someone, I forgot who, at Louisville Genealogical Society that has
seriously
researched this and I think put a book together on Mr. Bothwell.
Oh, isn't that gorgeous?
Yeah, look at it in the fall. I think there's even another one, Ty. Did I send 3 different pictures of the house? No?
Not like this. The other ones are closer up.
Okay, just if I haven't showed it, you can show it. I don't know what all. Yeah, this one's a little bit. But see how close it is to the bluff?
It is close.
It is close. It makes you wonder about what's that called when land starts to slide away?
Landslide.
Well, yeah, but there's a word, erosion.
Erosion. Well, and then
over the years, because it's been a long time since he built it, so it surely has eroded somewhat.
Well, and then the other thing is like, okay, so how he's built this thing on a cave.
Yeah.
That would be a little nerve-wracking.
Yeah, but
how strong is...
It's strong, man. He knew what he was doing. He did the work himself. I'm sure it's fine, Stacey. No, I don't think that it sits like...
What a gorgeous place to get married. Why don't they open it up for that?
I think they do, maybe. I don't think that the cave is like... I don't think the house is 100% over the cave. I think just the entrances to the cave kind of butt up to the house.
Okay.
So I think it's sturdy from what I read about it, but it does vent up into the house, so all that cool air goes right up into it.
This man is not going to build his house on sand. So,
yeah,
I mean,
it's
come
still...
on. Oh, I can't even...
It is still naturally cooled by those caves, from what I've read. Okay, so...
Beautiful.
Let's see about where am I at in this story. So this estate opened to the public in 1979, which was a great year. The photos...
I'm assuming you were born in 79.
The photos show the mansion's interior and exterior. You can look at pictures online. It cost about $40,000 to $50,000 to build that mansion, which was a lot of money.
I wonder what you could buy it for today.
Yeah.
If I win the lottery, it's too bad this isn't in Sailor Springs.
Yeah, it's not. But, you know, if you win the lottery, you can own property in multi-states.
That is true.
And you should. You should, Stacey.
I should.
All right, let's take a look at that other guy that you posted, the other man, that picture, Ty, a few minutes ago. Yeah. So this is...
He looks a little crying.
Yeah, he looks like a founding father, doesn't he?
Yeah, he looks a little bit like he's...
This is his dad, Mr. Bothwell, James Kimball Bothwell, and he is buried at, let's see. No, this is his great-grandfather. No. This is his grandfather. Not his dad, but his grandfather. This is James Bothwell. He was born in 1785, and he was from Scotland, and he died in 1863. Okay, so what is significant? And all of these people are buried at Clay City. Ty, do I have pictures of the cemetery?
Yes.
There it is.
Okay, yeah. Actually, this one is in Ohio. This is where the guy from Scotland I just showed you is buried in Ohio. But his son and his wife are buried over at Clay City. Do I have any more cemetery pictures? Yeah, this one's in Clay City.
Yeah.
This is his parents in Clay City.
You know, it's fun. I've walked through that. That's where my family's buried, and I've seen that stone so many times and had no idea.
Yeah, well, wait till I tell you what's next. Do I have other cemetery pictures? This one. Okay, this is John Homer's grave and his wife and his baby.
Where's that at?
This is over in Missouri. Yeah, it's a little difficult to read, but they're all there together again. So that's
and he never
sweet.
married again.
No, let's see the rest of that. There's another picture. That's his gravestone. in the middle of that cemetery in Missouri on that beautiful day with the beautiful clouds. Yes, so that if you visit Sedalia, I don't think that you're going to miss his headstone.
I'm not. I'll know exactly where it's at.
Yes, if you visit the cemetery, you can spot where Mr. Bothwell
I'm
and
going
his
to
wife is
Sedalia.
buried.
It's happening.
But you know what?
Road trip.
He put the stone there for his wife and child first because they died way before him. So I wonder. I don't know the history of the stone. I couldn't find that.
Wow.
But I think what I choose to believe is not that he was just so puffed up with pride about himself, but that he wanted to honor his wife and child.
Oh, I believe so.
And he had the money to do it. And then he put that stone there, and then he was also buried there. So, okay. So, the reason I mentioned the guy from Scotland, is that all of the pictures, Ty? Yeah. Okay. Okay, so
I'm going to give you a couple minutes, and we're going to take a break, and then you're going to come back with your last. So you got 1 minute.
The reason that this guy is important is because he is from Scotland and he is descended from the people that the family of Bothwell Castle, which is still there. These were Scottish immigrants that were noble. And there is a long history back into the 1100s of this Bothwell Castle. And it makes you wonder if John Homer, which he would have known about his castle, his great-grandfather's castle back in Scotland, and I wonder if he based his lodge on the castle and wanted his own castle.
I bet he did.
Okay, so Bothwell Castle is a large medieval castle situated on a high, steep bank above a bend in the River Clyde in South Lanarkshire, Scotland. It is located between Bothwell and Uddingston. It's about 10 miles southeast of Glasgow.
Did I tell you that I'm planning a Scotland trip in about 4 years, and I've heard of this because Glasgow is where we're staying.
You didn't tell me that, and I am happy to hear that you will be going there.
I am going to go there.
Because when we come back from our commercial break, I'm going to tell you all about the castle and about this guy's lineage, and you're going to also want to go to the castle.
I will.
So we will be right back.
Do you bowl like this? That's great. Do you bowl like this? That's great too. That's because whether you're a pro or you just want to have a lot of fun, at Peggle's Silver Dollar Lanes, we have a lane for you. We have galaxy bowling, gaming for kids and adults, Joe's Pizza, a full bar, darts, pool, and fresh and clean bowling shoes. Boy, does that smell nice. So come on down to Peggle Silver Dollar Lanes in Effingham, where we have a lane for you.
My name is Robin Stanford. I own Stanford Marketing. It's a promotional products business along with an embroidery business. And we do custom hats, t-shirts, anything, you name it, we can make it. People like that we do stuff in-house and we can actually make things here and that we're not contracting the work out to other places. We never say no. We always try to find a way to do it. If anybody can do it, we can do it. We are hardworking women, that is for sure. Come to Stanford Marketing in Flora for all your custom and promotional needs.
Give me all your lumber. Doors, paint, windows, electrical, plumbing, and much more. Oh yeah, give me all your guns too.
John Lucas.
What?
You better be dreaming about all the stuff we sell here at Zink Building Center.
Oh, I would. Zink Building Center in Louisville on Route 45. It's a cool place.
Welcome back to By the Way with Beth and Stacey. Today we're talking about John Homer Bothwell and how he came from Clay City area and then he moved to Sedalia, Missouri and built this huge house and was super rich and super successful. And then I told you that he was from a long line of Scottish noblemen.
Yep.
And this is where it gets interesting. So John Homer's great-great-grandfather was Alexander. There was a whole bunch of Alexanders in this family. And there's a very special Alexander that he is also related to that I'm going to tell you about in a minute. But Alexander was an ancestor of John Homer's, Alexander Bothwell. And he lived up right next to this castle on the castle grounds. Sometimes different parts of the family lived in the castle. Over time, there were areas of the castle that were torn down, so that may explain why they were living next to it at some points. Because the castle was built, I said 1100s earlier. It was the 1300s is when the castle was actually built. But Alexander was his great grandfather, and he married a woman named Catherine Hagan of Wales in 1782, and then they left Scotland together and went to Ireland. And they were compelled to leave Ireland when the Irish Rebellion happened, and then they came to America and settled in Virginia. And that is how John T. and James Kimball Bothwell, that are grandsons of this Alexander, would both eventually settle in Maysville. So because these people left Bothwell Castle, they went to Ireland. Then the rebellion happened, so they left Ireland, and then they came to Virginia, and they were like, where are we going to settle? And they're like, Clay City, Illinois, duh.
Why wouldn't you?
Yeah, Maysville, awesome. Who needs a castle on a bluff in Scotland when you got Maysville? Okay.
Isn't that nuts?
Let's see some pictures of this castle.
Wow.
Yeah, here we go. This is an oldie but a goodie, kind of a sketch. You can see it's kind of had different parts torn off of it, and it has also been repaired over the years. The huge cylindrical donjon, that's that round part, was built in the 13th century, but before the rest of the castle was completed, it was severely damaged in a series of sieges. It was rebuilt in the early 15th century and enlarged the castle, but then it was abandoned by the 18th century. The present ruin is rectangular, with the remains of the donjon to the west and the later Great Hall to the east. The courtyard is enclosed by long curtain walls with round towers at the southeast and southwest corners. But it's definitely a Middle Ages kind of castle, so you could definitely visit it, but you're not going to see a full castle. It is ruins. So, short little history of King David I granted the barony of Bothwell to David Olifard, and this was the 12th century. And then from there, it just started passing through descendants, lots of names that are not going to mean anything and just going to confuse everyone. But I'll fast forward. There were some wars for Scottish independence. King Edward I of England invaded Scotland, seized Bothwell, and then the castle was held by Walter's son, William Moray of Bothwell. These are descendants of the Bothwell that I've been talking about this whole show. The English garrison holding the castle was besieged by the Scots for 14 months in 1298 to 1299 and eventually capitulated. More wars. Lots of wars. Everyone's fighting over this castle. Fighting. Wars. And now we're up to the 1400s. Let's see another picture of the castle. Oh, I didn't send you another one? Google one, because there's a whole bunch out there. I thought I sent 2 or 3. Yeah, here we go.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah, this is a more recent picture of it, and this is what it would look like if you were to visit it today, which Stacey will in 4 years.
Yes, I will be there in 28.
Yes, so the keep was 82 feet high, 62 feet in diameter, and the walls were 15 feet thick.
Wow.
That's how it stood up to all of these
battles.
Mm-hmm. So I don't have.
That's impressive.
It was built using a bunch of. That's why it kind of looks red. They had a bunch of red sandy clay and stuff that they used around that area to build stuff. So that's why they came to Clay County. Yeah, maybe
they
so.
Saw that red clay.
Maybe
and
so.
Awesome.
I don't know, but they were. There was a whole line of people that were related to the Bothwells, and one of them, the other family. Okay, so there was basically 2 families, and they kind of split, and one because one was a daughter and one was a son. So the Bothwell name carried on through the son. The woman, the female name was Hamilton. She married a Hamilton. Mm-hmm. So the Hamilton family is also descended from this castle. And when I say Hamilton family, I'm talking about Alexander Hamilton. Really? Alexander Hamilton was related to John Homer Bothwell.
Wow.
And they were both descended from the line that this castle was.
And Bothwell,
how cool is that?
Lived in Clay City.
Makes me want to burst into songs from Hamilton, but I'll spare you.
Please do.
Yeah.
Let me get you one of them microphones
no
first.
Kidding. Yeah. No, so, yeah, it's just interesting that, we know a lot about Alexander Hamilton. I don't know that I've heard any of the, his family line, because he was an orphan that his parents died, down in what was it, the Bahamas or an island down there. But they had moved there from England or Scotland. Anyway, they're all descended from the same line.
That is
So-
quite interesting.
Yes, it is. So that part blew me away because that was why I wasn't expecting that.
No.
So I got deep into this research, and it said that the Alexander, or it said the Hamilton family, and then it said the Bothwell family. And I was like, so I researched the Bothwell family, and then I went back up there to where it split, and I'm like, which Hamilton family was it? Oh yeah, it was Alexander Hamilton.
That's so fun.
Yeah. I'm like, I wonder. Makes me, I still wish I could like interview some of these people I talk about. It's like, if I could just invite John Homer Bothwell to sit with us right now, I would say, did you know that you were related to Alexander Hamilton?
Mm-hmm.
Did he? I don't know.
He may not. I don't know. I would assume they probably did. They knew their lineage pretty well. So.
Yeah.
He
They-
probably
they
did,
did.
but he was his own man in his own right. So he
Yeah.
probably thought, yeah, what about it?
Yeah, he was probably like, I'm not a fan of Alexander
I'm not
Hamilton
a fan
anyway.
of Alexander.
But there was so many people on both sides, the Bothwell side and the Hamilton side, that were named Alexander. It was one of those things
Right.
where it was like,
Yeah.
everyone's named Alexander, so you're like, which one
Boy,
is
it's
this?
so
That's why
difficult.
I left out
Ugh.
a ton of the names, because it was only going to confuse you if I just said
Right.
name after name after name in this lineage. It's kind of like the Bible, where it's like he begot who begot who.
Yeah.
You kind of like, at some point, you're like, I have no idea what's happening.
Well, I
So-
just got Lady Jane Grey's book, and I've been reading it, and it's so difficult to get through because everybody's named the same, and I have no idea.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, okay, so I'm trying to they did break down like the family tree, but even that gets hairy because
Yeah.
it's like,
Yeah, this family tree did too, because
gets a
there
little
were
crazy.
just so many Hamiltons or so many Alexanders and so many Johns.
yeah, you
And they
only have
all
so
either
many.
were Hamilton last name or Bothwell last name. And
Of course, his middle name was what again?
Homer.
Homer, which is, and I feel like that's
I
an
didn't-
unusual name.
yeah, I don't know where the Homer came from, because I didn't see that name anywhere else.
That to
So
me
maybe
seemed-
his mom just was like, I like the name Homer.
and
Her
he-
name was Marge. I'm just kidding.
liar.
Just made that part up. That was
So-
funny though. Okay.
That was pretty quick. That was pretty quick for a
It's a
Tuesday
joke on
morning.
The Simpsons, if you don't know. Marge and Homer Simpson. But
Yeah,
anyway.
so that's kind of a neat, because his middle name is unusual for the time.
Yep.
And
Yeah.
I love his monument.
Yeah.
And he never married again.
He never married again. He had a broken heart the rest of his life. So,
Oh, that'd be exactly what happened to our husbands if something happened to us. Jim would just mourn me for the rest.
yeah, I don't know. Probably so, though. I think he worships the ground you walk on. He just doesn't want anyone to know that. Oh,
Yeah, at least
shoot.
that's what I'll tell myself.
Yeah.
Whatever.
But anyway, interesting story about a guy. I mean, you just never know. Like, you walk by a cemetery in Clay City and you see everyone has a story. I mean,
Everybody has
the
a
guy
story.
buried in Clay City, his grandfather owned a castle in Scotland. I mean, just who knew?
Who knew? Absolutely. I mean, it's crazy to me.
Yeah. Very interesting. So, anyway, we've been ending this show with something funny. Here's your sign.
Well,
What do you have?
We've got. Oh, and I did get my. If I left it home, I've got. Here's your sign book, the Bill Engvall, and then I just got in the. You might be a redneck. But I
okay.
forgot to put it in my bag.
Oh, shoot.
So we're
Okay.
going to go back and forth from one episode to the
Okay.
next one. Okay. My wife and I just parked our car and were walking into a hotel for a New Year's Eve party when the doorman asked, "Are you going to celebrate the new year?" I said, "No, we're going to attend a wake for the old year."
Here's your sign.
Here's your sign. That guy was a genius for coming up
Oh,
with this.
yeah. So funny. Give us
Yep.
another one.
Okay, these are.
I think we
Whoa.
do we have a couple minutes or not?
Oh, yeah.
I never know.
When my wife was expecting our first child, a woman walked up to her and asked, "Oh, are you pregnant?" My wife said, "No, I'm practicing to smuggle basketballs into Cuba."
His wife must be pretty funny too.
She must be funny too.
Or he's just a good writer and none of this really happened, but he
Yeah.
made a good story.
I gotta read, and there's some funny. I was taking a deer to the taxidermist when a lady looked in the back of my car and asked, "Did you shoot that deer?" I said, nope. He hopped in the back of the truck, handed me a note, and killed himself. It is, it's funny because you don't think of the stupid. I say stupid things all the time.
Yeah, I've been guilty of saying stuff like that too.
I do think I say silly things all the time.
Yeah.
But I just think those are really funny.
Yeah, that is funny.
Here's your sign.
Yeah, I like that kind of humor.
Of course, his delivery is really good too.
Yeah, his delivery is good.
I hope the book don't fall apart.
I know, it's kind of already.
There's already one kind of. My first page is. Yeah.
Well, that's a bummer.
Yeah, that's a bummer.
Oh, well. In there. But anyway.
We'll just have to throw some glue in there. But tell them where they can find us, Beth.
You can find us on Wabash Catch TV, channel 100. We are on the air weekdays at 11 a.m. and then again at 3 p.m. And you can find all of our episodes on YouTube. If you go to YouTube and type in Beth and Stacey, our picture will pop up. You click on that and you can find all of our episodes. They're either under the tab that says video or the tab that says live. You can also like and follow us on Facebook. And if you wanted to reach out to us with questions, comments, whatever, you can email us at bytheway@gmail.com. And that pretty much wraps it up for today. So
I think it is. And I think people are going to be very interested in that story.
I think it was a great story.
It was a great story.
Yeah. So, and if you want to learn more, visit the Genealogical Society in Louisville, down on the square. They're open Thursdays and Fridays from 11 to 2, and then on Saturdays from like 9 to 2, I think. And they have a book about Mr. Bothwell, I believe, and a lot more information. So see them if you want to learn more.
Yep. The Genealogical Society is just a great place. You should go visit.
It really is.
Everybody should go visit it. It's a
great
place. We're blessed to have that in our county.
Absolutely.
So yeah, that's pretty good. That's it, though.
But anyway, thanks for joining us, and we will catch you next time.
God bless you, and have a great day.